That's being a business owner.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't think she's done it, consistently hasn't
Right.
done it, so it's kind of catch-up time.
You know, the thing with bookkeeping like business, you gotta stay on top of it at the end of every day, otherwise it'll build up on you.
If you do it, don't do it every day, let's do it twice a week, you know,
Something big.
not once a year. That's, yeah.
All right, well, we'll get going. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday, September 8th Commissioners meeting. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend, and this cooler weather feels nice, and the air is clear and we can see the mountains, so it's nice to have that smoke gone. Anyway, we will start this meeting with public comment on any subject not on the agenda and the commissioners have jurisdiction over. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Okay. We'll move on. I do have a couple of things. One is the commissioner meeting minutes from August 31st.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from August 31st.
I will second that motion.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes from August 31st. Is there any public discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
I'm voting present.
Okay, and the motion carries. I'm going to read my little census blurb again. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but the census is important, and we're kind of a little bit behind in Broadwater County and in the state of Montana as well. So, more than $2 billion in federal funding is allocated to Montana each year based on census data. Without a 100% count, Montana will lose 20,000 for every person missed and won't have accurate data for the next decade. So it is important to keep up the efforts across Montana to get every resident to self-respond. Census data is also used to define legislative districts, establish school districts, and guide decision-making in many other functional areas of government. As mandated by the U.S. Constitution, the decennial census is used to appropriate seats in U.S. House of Representatives. Montana is one of the states on the cusp of gaining a new congressional person whose getting a complete count is more important than ever. So anyway, you can still go online to the my2020census.gov, and if you know any of your friends or family out there that have not completed the census, please encourage them to do so. Well, thank you. Have a letter from Department of Transportation, and it's to inform us that the 2020 to 2024 final statewide transportation improvement program, otherwise known as STIP, has been published and is available as a hard copy for probably like for counties or road departments. It is also available online. So if you're interested in that, this letter is in the Commissioner's office and you can get that information there. We received our intercap loan for the solid waste canisters for $49,700. And we have regular claims in the amount of $11,234.51.
I'll make a motion to pay claims in set amount.
I didn't see the claims on the website. I did check the clerk and recorder's office on Thursday. I didn't see them there either. Were they advertised for the participation of the public?
They are in the clerk and recorder's office. I checked this morning, and in conversations with staff and everybody, we feel it's not appropriate to put these claims on the website because of the information that is on those claims. So they will be available in the book in the clerk and recorder's office.
Well, certainly anything that violates HIPAA or people's rights to privacy should be redacted or cut out. But I would argue that the public has a right to know where the commission is spending their money. And so an argument that they shouldn't be on the website, I think that's on our resolution. I think we need to maybe pull in MACO and get their opinion on that. And since they're the ones who said we should, I would imagine they'll say that still.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the claims and set them out.
Okay, I will second the motion to approve the claims in amount of $11,234.51. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in
Yes,
favor?
I am going to reiterate that the claims are not following the public's right to participate on where their money is being spent by the commission.
Okay, noted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Another thing on those claims is they've been on the website, or they were on the website for months. It seems to have been a new development as of this summer. So again, I would reiterate that we do things as correctly as possible, especially when it involves the Constitution.
Okay, thanks. You have anything else, Mike?
No.
All right. We're a little bit early, but let's go ahead and get started with the Silos Lakeview Estates minor subdivision.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nicole.
So the developer, Doug Smith, is here today, and his representative, Todd Cookhouse.
Okay, and Todd, are you an engineer or?
I'm an engineer with Pioneer Technical
Okay.
Services.
Okay.
Is there any photocopies?
Yeah.
Send it to you, no problem. If you want it. So this findings of fact and order report was emailed out to the commission and posted to the county website. It was also read into the record at the planning board meeting. So I'm hopeful that at this point in time, you're not going to require me to read the whole thing into the record, but I happily will.
Mm-hmm.
But it has been read into the record at least once, which is required by state law. So if you're okay with it, I'm just going to jump right to the proposed conditions of approval.
Yes.
And these conditions of approval are proposed by the Broadwater County Planning Board. All right, condition number 1. Plans for sewage treatment and water supply shall be submitted to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality for review and approval. The certificate, should have brought my glasses. The certificate of subdivision approval shall be filed with the final plat. Number 2, a stormwater drainage plan shall be submitted to DEQ for review and recommendation. All specifications and requirements of the approved plan shall be met. Number 3, the extension of Beaver Drive must be constructed and approved by a professional engineer licensed in the state of Montana prior to final plat approval. Number 4, prior to any development, driveway application and approach permit shall be requested from the County Road Department for the extension of Beaver Drive. Number 5, the applicant shall contribute 2/50 of the cost to upgrade the existing road, Cactus Lane, to Broadwater County subdivision road standards for a number 1 local road. it shall be required that they obtain a current estimate. I should also back up a little bit. The fact that you've all received this, I'm realizing that's probably not very fair to the public that I have not given a description of this. This is a 5-lot minor subdivision between Cactus and Beaver. So the 2/50ths, the reason for the 2/50ths, 2 lots will be accessing directly off of Cactus. And the next condition, 3 lots will be accessing directly off of Beaver. So condition number 6, the applicant shall contribute 3/50ths of the cost to upgrade the existing road, Beaver Drive, to Broadwater County subdivision road standards for a number 1 local road. It shall be required that they obtain a current estimate. Number 7, the applicant will be required to submit the preliminary and final plat drawings in electronic format to Broadwater County in ArcGIS, AutoCAD, or MicroStation format. Additional materials may be requested by the county in electronic format to facilitate review of application materials. Number 8, plans for the location and installation of individual mailboxes shall be reviewed and approved by the United States Postal Service prior to installation. Number 9, the applicant and the Fire Protection Authority having jurisdiction shall use their best efforts to draft a fire protection plan specifically for this subdivision in accordance with Broadwater County subdivision regulations. The plan shall be equally acceptable to the FPAHJ, the applicant, and the county governing authority. The plan shall adequately address the fire risk analysis, all findings of fact, and appropriate mitigation measures. In the event the parties are unable to come to agreement by the final plat submittal, the applicant shall become eligible to provide the per lot cash in lieu fee for water supply, as may be defined in the Broadwater County subdivision regulations in effect at the time of submittal. Number 10, prior to any development and or soil disturbance, a weed management plan for the proposed development shall be submitted to the County Weed District for review and approval. Number 11, the book and page reference to the restrictive covenants filed with the county clerk and recorder shall be indicated on the face of the final plat. In addition, restrictive covenants, revocable or alterable only with the consent of the Board of County Commissioners, shall be placed upon the property and shall provide for the following. A, per the subdivision application, all lots shall be used for residential purposes only. B, notification of the potential health risk from radon concentrations and that such risk can be evaluated through soil tests and mitigated through radon abatement techniques incorporated into structures. C, a notification that each driveway access for individual lots will require an approved driveway application and approach permit prior to installation of a private driveway onto the county road, Cactus Lane, or Beaver Drive. D, a notification that all dwelling units within the subdivision should be constructed to specifications which meet or exceed equivalent provisions in the applicable state building code for this seismic zone, which is Zone 3. E, notification of a potential degradation of existing emergency services due to the potential for growth in a rural area. F, any additional replacement or relocated utility lines shall be installed underground in accordance with the county subdivision regulations unless otherwise determined by the utility provided. G, any exterior lighting shall be directed downward to minimize visibility beyond the property lines. H, notification of the presence of agricultural operations in the vicinity. I, a waiver of the right to protest to join a special district for the purpose of providing community water and or wastewater treatment system improvements and or maintenance. J, a restrictive covenant binding the landowner, any heirs, successors, and assigns, and all future owners of property within the subdivision, agreeing therein to hold Broadwater County harmless and indemnify Broadwater County from all claims, demands, obligations, suits, causes of action, damages, and liability, including the county's costs and attorney's fees, arising in any manner whatsoever out of or relating to the existence, use, operation, repair, and or maintenance of the following. Subitem 1, earthquake fault zone and any seismic activity, and number 2, water availability. K, each lot shall be maintained in a clean, attractive, and weed-free manner. Noxious weeds must be pulled, sprayed, or cut prior to seed maturity. L, a prohibition of the storage of foods, garbage, or continuous feeding of domestic pets outdoors or other activities that creates an attractive nuisance for wildlife species. Hay or alfalfa storage and feeding are not prohibited where livestock are permitted. M, lots shall only allow for livestock if a small acreage livestock management plan is reviewed and approved by the county extension agent and submitted to the county. Each lot owner shall be required to create and adhere to their own livestock management plan. N, all cats and dogs must be restrained, penned, or otherwise under the control of their owner at all times. O, address numbers shall be clearly marked at the driveway entrance to each lot and be easily identified from the road. Condition number 12, prior to filing the final plat, the following improvements shall be installed or otherwise guaranteed. A, any necessary improvements required by the stormwater drainage plan, weed management plan, fire protection plan, or approach permits. And B, utilities abutting and available to each lot. Electrical and telephone shall be underground unless otherwise determined by the utility provided. If said improvements are not installed prior to final plat, then the applicant shall enter into a written subdivision improvements agreement with Broadwater County, guaranteeing the construction and installation of such improvements, and shall provide an acceptable financial security guarantee in accordance with County Subdivision Regulations, Appendix E. Number 13, prior to filing the final plat, the applicant shall A, provide proof that all taxes and special assessments assessed and levied on the property are paid for the current tax year, including any past delinquencies, and B, provide documentation, an abstract of title or platting certificate, showing that the applicant is the lawful owner of the property with the apparent authority to subdivide the same, showing the names of lien holders or claimants of record and the written consent to the subdivision by the owners of the land, if other than the applicant, and any lien holders or claimants of record against the land. The applicant is financially responsible for actual outside engineering, consulting, professional and/or contracted service fees, etc., at the sole discretion of the county for additional review and/or final plat approval of the proposed subdivision. Preliminary plat approval of the Silos Lakeview Estates minor subdivision shall be enforced for 3 calendar years. At the end of this period, the governing body may, at the written request of the subdivider, extend its approval for no more than 1 calendar year. However, the governing body may extend its approval for a period of more than 1 calendar year if that approval period is included as a specific condition of a written subdivision improvements agreement. A party as defined by 763625 MCA who is aggrieved by a decision of the governing body may, within 30 days after this decision, appeal to the Broadwater County District Court.
All right, thanks, Nicole. All right, I guess I think we both have some questions. Do you want to go ahead and start, Mike?
I have 3 or 4 here. Number 1 is the continuation of Beaver Drive to the end of the property. Make it so it's straight and it goes all the way to the end of their property so adjoining property owners can tie into Beaver Drive. Right now it doesn't go to the boundary, or at least establish an easement for that road.
Okay.
Another one is the drain field for lots 3 and 4. One lot, I believe it is lot 3's drain field is on lot 4, or lot 4 is on 3.
Right.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I guess those were 2 of my concerns as well. So this drain field of lot 4 being on lot 3, I know there's an easement in there for it.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to come to that.
yeah, please come up and state your name for the record. And
Commissioners, my name is Todd Cookshouse. I work for Pioneer Technical Services out of Helena, and I prepared the application for the project and all the DEQ submittals as well. So the question regarding the drain field on the adjacent property, going through the non-degradation analysis for the application to get through DEQ approval and meet the sanitarians requirements as well. Because of the large mixing zone that was required in this particular project, we had to shift a drain field over to the adjacent property to be able to meet the non-degradation rules without migration of that drain field mixing zone over onto the adjacent property. Because the mixing zones cannot cross adjacent property unless it's a highway right away or something like that. So that was the reason that we had to combine onto one lot And again, these lots are relatively large, 3.3 to 5 acres.
And how about the replacement drain field then? Where would they be located?
Immediately downstream. So if you have your laterals lined up, say if there's 3 laterals on a particular drain field, those essentially would just shift down gradient, another down gradient or up gradient, depending on which way we would decide to go, of the existing. So there's room for both. And these are pressure dosed drain fields, so they should provide very good treatment. Uniform distribution of the effluent from the septic tank.
Okay.
And then the other question about Beaver Drive extension, go ahead and jump in if you think I'm blowing it here, but there is an existing county right-of-way through there. The road just has not been constructed. So the applicant is proposing to extend that road as far as necessary to access that far north lot. And then if, down the road, if the county decides to extend it and punch it all the way through, that's, someone's option for sure. But we just want to provide adequate access to that far lot and a hammerhead turnaround, so fire emergency services have plenty of room to turn around.
Okay, because I guess I'm looking at that and it doesn't show that turnaround there for.
It's a hammerhead. It's not a cul-de-sac.
Oh, so they're going to use that driveway?
Basically, it's a hammerhead / driveway approach for that far lot, and that is an easement as well. And that's, from my understanding, is permitted by the Broadwater County subdivision regulations.
That is correct. It is in the subdivision regulations, and the easement does extend. It's a 60-foot easement that extends all the way to Hung Road.
So part of the road of Beaver Drive getting there is an RID road, right?
Correct.
So do you anticipate that those residents will be using Beaver Drive or Tea Kettle? I'm just curious what you think their greatest access is going to be.
Beaver, I would suspect.
Yeah.
If there's, they obviously can go through Tea Kettle and then get on a Beaver again. But I would say primarily Beaver because it's a better road.
Okay.
And I believe that's the one where the applicant would have to pay the 3/50th impact fee.
And then each of these lots, to jump in here, they would be participating in that RID.
They would be.
Similar to everyone out there in the silos.
They
is
would.
Participating in the RID.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know because I could see a potential issue down the road, the folks that are paying in the RID and the ones that aren't. And so.
So this is, and it wouldn't be an RID specifically for
Right.
Beaver. It's for the silos, that
Right.
1 mile, that one section square. That's where the RID comes.
And the applicant's already, the existing lot is got a home on it now. And that lot, meets their existing covenants. The applicant's being pretty careful about the type of buildings that are going to go in there. This is going to be a nicer subdivision, stick-built homes, those kinds of things. So it's a higher end for that area. So it should, if anything, increase property values around that adjacent area.
I see that. And then I guess one thing that we'll just talk about is obvious, I don't know if you know the issue that we're having out there with people putting campers on their lots, right?
Right.
Some of them are renting them out, and it's an issue that we've addressed through DEQ, and probably it's going to take a little bit longer for us to solve that.
Right.
So I guess I just want you to be aware of that. It's something that we don't want to have happen.
Understandable.
And I think some of that is addressed in some of what I read here about as far as for the vehicles that are allowed there and things like that. So
Yeah, the covenants are pretty restrictive.
Mhm.
They're probably a little bit more strict than some of the adjacent areas around there. There's things that the covenants restrict farm animals and things like that.
Right.
Which,
Right.
it's
So I guess there's no association at present, and until those lots begin to be sold. And in reading the covenants, it seems like the association is going to be the ones that enforce these covenants, right?
right,
So in the meantime, who will be the association?
which is the majority lot owner, which is Mr. Smith.
Okay,
He would be basically the association until the majority of the lots are sold.
Okay.
And then the association would take over.
okay. I don't have anything more. Do you, Mike?
No.
Nicole, do you have anything else? Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the minor subdivision application for Silos Lakeview Estates.
Okay. Motion's been made to approve the Silos Lakeview Estates minor subdivision. Is there a second? Okay, I will second that motion. Any public discussion? Any discussion?
I have a comment.
Okay,
I think this is well put together. Nicole, I know you and your board have put a lot of time into this. I am going to vote present because it does pertain to our growth policy.
all right, thank you. All right, motion's made and seconded to approve the Silos Lakeview Estates minor subdivision. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm voting present.
Okay, and the motion carries. All right, good luck.
And Nicole, that is not to say that the growth policy is an error in any way. Just want that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you sign my copy, please?
I already have that.
Oh, this is yours. Do you want to take it?
Okay, next on the agenda is Joe Nelson Family Transfer. I have,
I have little ones, so I'll just pass that. Thank you. Looks like you have.
I got them, yep.
And here's a copy of the affidavit. You
Okay,
already have
you have
those,
those, yeah?
Jeff? Okay.
Mhm.
So Joe Nelson is here. If you have questions, he's proposing this family transfer. He's transferring, I really should have brought my glasses. It looks like 117.58 acres to his son Colin Nelson. And included with this submittal is the affidavit. This has gone through the COS review committee. To date, no one had any concerns.
Okay.
But Mr. Nelson is here if
All
you
right.
have questions specifically.
Morning, Joe. Anything you want to share with us?
No?
No? Okay. All right. Guess I looked it over. I don't have any questions. All looks good to me. What you
I don't
have?
have any questions.
All right. Motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve the Joe Nelson family land transfer.
Okay, I will second that motion. Motion's made and seconded to approve the Joe Nelson family land transfer. Is there any discussion? Any public discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Present.
And the motion carries. All right. Just like that, congratulations, Joe.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Colin will like it.
Colin will appreciate that, won't he?
Yeah, he will.
All right. All right, well, keep farming. You got a lot to do there.
Plenty.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Next on the agenda is the decision for the medical pill clinic building lease. We have just a few minutes, so we'll wait and see if Dr. Campbell attends. So.
I believe it sounds as though you're driving.
Oh, there they are right there.
While we're waiting, was there anything on the agenda for signing that updated amendment on the Department of Commerce contract?
Yes, that was the last thing on the agenda.
Okay.
So
I just 1 minute to 10, they emailed me the hard copy contract, so I can
Okay.
give it to you. And I emailed it out just now to the commissioners.
yeah, and I actually was able to download it off the.
Where you were?
Yes. I believe it might be the same one. We can look at it.
Just the. I have a couple extra copies here if anyone wants to look at it. I can talk about it when we get to that.
Okay. Can I see what you have, Corey, to make sure it's the same as what I have? Okay. Okay. All right, well, we'll get started. I see Dr. Campbell's here and his representative. Welcome. So we received a letter from Dr. Campbell's attorney requesting extension of his lease, and those terms of extension were spelled out in the lease, and just needed to make that request before September 1st, which they did. So we're here this morning to discuss that. Sure, let's go ahead.
Yes, my name is Charles Pataya. I'm Dr. Campbell's representative. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I on August 7th provided a letter requesting an extension on the lease agreement. We understand that there have been some negotiations regarding interest in taking over the property by the hospital, and we would inform you that Dr. Campbell is willing to make a move to the hospital if that is what actually transpires in the future, so he's willing to be flexible about that. In the meantime, I think this past year he's paid all the rents, and he's maintained his liability insurance, and he's followed the terms and conditions of his lease agreement with the county. Certainly, we will continue to do that under whatever terms that you guys would designate. So if you don't feel comfortable doing like another year renewal, we would certainly be willing to continue as lessees on a month-to-month basis with a 30-day notice. And I think I discussed that with Corey. He said that, of course, would be up to the commission, and if we did it on that basis, well, he would continue to pay rents and continue to maintain insurance and pay the utilities at the properties. And if it was done in that manner, at which time the hospital would make their decisions as to their requested uses of the property, it would be a pretty easy transition. We could just do it in 30 days. So if the board is not comfortable with a year lease, we would be willing to do month to month in the meantime. So that's our position.
Okay.
I think that Dr. Campbell's been there a long time, and he says he breaks into a cold sweat every time he thinks about moving. But so I understand that. And anyway, he's been a kind of a pillar of the community for a long time, and I've had the honor of representing him for now almost 40 years. So it's been great. So whatever consideration you give us, we're willing to abide by those terms. That's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think that when this lease was, when we made this lease, one of the biggest concerns was the condition of the building. And I know that our maintenance department put a fair amount of work and stuff into making sure that that building was able to be used for the term of this lease. And I know that Dr. Campbell had done a little bit of work as well. But that still remains the concern, is the condition of that building. And we know that if we were to try to renovate that building, as soon as we get into that, then we get into, I think, ADA laws and things like that that would probably make the cost prohibitive to actually remodel that building.
I guess, was there anything else, Corey, that you would like to add about that, or?
Well, one thing that, I guess, I know there's been some ideas kicked around as far as what to do with that space ultimately when the building's gone. I've recently asked Buildings Clinic, they had an idea they were going to present to us. They haven't done it yet. I asked them, hey, are you guys planning on putting together something? And they, oh, well, we'll get to you. So as far as I'm aware, that's not the issue as far as anyone else wanting to use that space right away. The county's certainly not agreed to anything. The one thing that did come up is that I understand Dr. Campbell, you were getting some taxation notices, and we kept saying, well, this doesn't make sense. It's a county-owned building. So we contacted the Department of Revenue, and they informed us that no, because you're using it as a for-profit business, then it's not exempt from property taxes, which I'm not a tax lawyer, so I didn't know that. And so I said, oh, geez, we're going to have to bring this to the commission. So that is one thing we haven't figured out, is there are some past due taxes, and we're going to have to figure out what to do with it. So.
I couldn't imagine taxes on that building would be very much, and if that becomes an issue, I think Dr. Campbell would be willing to add that to his monthly rent, whatever that might be.
Yeah, well, currently there's actually back taxes going back to 2017 from when the county received the building. And nobody was really aware of that until just recently that had taken place. So the amount of those back taxes they're considerable. They're like $6,000. Wow. Or maybe actually even a little bit more.
62,
Yeah, almost.
$6,195.
Yeah, almost $6,200. So that's something that the county's gonna have to wrestle with, what we're gonna do with that as well. So,
So you'd like to do another year? Is that what you're asking? Or what's your thought?
Yeah, you know, I haven't talked to the hospital, those clinic people about what they've planned, you know. But yeah, I'd like to do it another year, and that would suit me fine. You know, and if they wanna do something within the next 4 to 6 months, that's fine too. I get along well with those guys, okay?
So if it's not renewed, what would be your plan?
If it's not renewed.
Yeah, at the end of the year.
And then, I'd have to find another place to open the office.
May I ask a question?
um,
Oh, maybe we're not public.
yeah, let's wait a
Okay.
moment on that. You know, and I guess I hope that everybody understands this is nothing personal against Dr. Campbell. I mean, everybody recognizes all the work he's done in our community, and it boils down to the building itself. It's a bit of a liability for the county, and I think that's kind of where our decision is based on. Do you have anything else, Mike?
Well, in conversations that we've had, there's an impression with Billings Clinic that lot is gonna become theirs, that we have no agreement with Billings Clinic on that building or that lot whatsoever. That lot is county property, as is the building.
Right.
I just have a question. We had no idea about the tax issue that's been going on since 2017. I know that prior to 2017, there was no question that the hospital owned the building because they conveyed it to the county, and we've never been submitted a bill for the taxes, you know, and I can't imagine with a bill, if the county owns the property and all they have there to tax is the building, and the condition is how taxes could be $6,200. I don't know if there's any possibility of going back and reviewing that. Especially, you know, in view of the fact that nobody was aware of what was going on. I don't know why that, but are they assessing both land and buildings? They shouldn't be assessing the land, it'd just be the building.
Well, you know, there's penalty and interest added onto these. So that's what probably takes the cost up a little bit.
I don't know what the appeal avenues would be on that. I guess the question might be, what's the assessment right now for the two payments for taxes for just the building? Forgetting about the past, going forward, what is the assessed or the assessment every 6 months?
Looks like for 2019, it was approximately $530
Each half.
So.
And I think, you know, Doc, you could, that would be roughly $100 a month. You could incur that going forward, is that right?
Yes.
I think you'd be willing to incur that going forward, and in the meantime, the county could maybe work out the issues regarding the back taxes.
All right, any more discussion, Mike?
Would it be, kind of a trap are we stepping into if we decided to split the taxes, the back taxes 50-50? Is that something we can do, or is that, I mean, even if we took these taxes back to the Department of Revenue and asked them to reassess this building, if we were to split those taxes, are we going to get in trouble for doing that for a profit business, or?
So, I think part of the issue is that I don't know of any other than the last 2 tax bills, I wasn't aware of any prior assessments. And so I think there's an appeal, there's a tax appeal process to go through. You have to meet it within certain deadlines, but it starts actually at the county's tax appeal board. And then, like the penalty and interest thing, I mean, I guess I'm surprised that it's gone to that high of a level that quickly, but I think it is the penalty and interest probably piling on. So, I don't know that it would make sense for the county to want to pay that. I can start with Department of Revenue and find out what exactly is going on to begin with, but I don't know that, I've never seen a notice of 2017 or 2018 tax assessments. I was aware of the 2019, that was the first one that Doc Campbell brought to us. And then probably the spring 2020 is, the May of 2021 is probably the second one that you were aware of.
They may have continued to notify the hospital, in which event the notice wouldn't be appropriate, and there would certainly be a basis for waiver of penalty and interest under those circumstances.
Talk to Doug before you go to Department of Revenue.
Okay. So maybe just put that on, give me some time to work on that issue, to resolve that. I mean, I think it's kind of a separate issue.
That's a separate
At least
issue. Yeah.
We have to resolve the tax issue one way or another, but there's ways to, there may be ways to resolve that.
And perhaps that could be resolved before the end of the lease, which is, what, we got 4 months left, I think, and we could kind of come to an issue, on the taxes within that period of time. Maybe the commission would be in a better position to make a decision.
Do you have any comments, Laura?
No, I just, we did take about 2 years to even get to a point of rent, which was then a violation of Title VII, I think, Chapter 8. So I would caution the commission on doing anything that puts us further into an area of jeopardy. I think that's all my only comment is at this point. And that would have been, I think, 17 and 18.
Okay, thank you.
There was a public comment.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so is there a motion to approve to extend or disapprove the lease? Or I shouldn't say disapprove, just continue with the current lease that we have, which would end in what, December 31st, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, we don't necessarily need to vote to maintain status quo.
Sure.
The vote would be to change it.
Okay. So is there a vote to change this lease?
I'll make a motion to extend the lease for 6 months with the added $100 a month on there to cover the foreseen taxes till June of 21.
Okay.
I guess the thing to do is to contact the Department of Revenue about the taxes. If we have to appeal to the tax board, we could do that, and then make some kind of arrangement on the splitting of the back taxes.
Mike, question for you in your motion. Have you guys talked with the maintenance department? What kind of burden is still on them for any current or foreseen or unforeseen issues with that building should you give an extension of 6 months? So now we're talking through the winter, through the rainy season of spring. One of the concerns with that building were some of the health issues that are connected with the fact that it has been poorly maintained until our maintenance department. Have you talked to Mike?
Yes, we talked to Mike. The main concern was to shut that down in the winter. We didn't know what was going to happen with the water lines inside and what was possibly going to happen with the hookups to the city. If we shut that off in December, that was more of a concern than anything else. As far as that, I think Mike was okay with it being there for 6 more months. I don't see. I guess my major concern with extending it 6 months is that it would give Doc much better weather to move in, and would also give our maintenance crew better weather to work on as far as shutting down the building and removing it.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thanks.
I recommend just modify that motion slightly. If you just extended it at the 6 months with the rent as is, and then just say, plus Doc Campbell pays the taxes that are on it, and then back taxes, let's just make that a separate issue to address.
Okay,
And we'll come back to it when we get something figured out.
I'd be good with that. So I'll amend my motion to simply extend the lease for 6 months with an increase to cover the taxes till June of 2021.
Okay. Is there a second?
One second.
Okay.
I did.
Yep, okay, thank you. Okay, motion's made and seconded to extend the Family Medical Clinic lease for 6 months until June of 2021, with the understanding that the taxes will be paid by the leasee. Is there public discussion? Any discussion? Shirley?
Shirley Wilson, I have some questions. Is Dr. Campbell the county health officer?
He is.
Is the county obligated in any way to provide him an office as county health officer?
I don't believe we are.
That needs to be taken into consideration, I believe.
No.
So we're
Thank
not
you.
required to provide an office space, Daryl.
Yeah. I'm looking in the lease, and I think there was let me try to find it. There was a point where if there was maintenance that had to be done on the building that exceeded its value, that we had an opportunity to cancel the lease. Is that correct? You guys remember that?
Yeah, that's the bottom of page 2.
Page 2? Okay, there you go. All right, any other discussion? Is that something that's agreeable to you, Dr. Campbell?
Sounds good, sounds good.
All right.
Appreciate it.
So, I guess, before we vote, I guess my suggestion is that we really need to think about where you would like to go after June of 2021. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman, just one other issue. Other than what's been included in the motion, I would assume that the remaining terms and conditions of the lease would remain in effect.
They would.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of extending the lease till June of 2021, with the understanding that the tax will be paid by Dr. Campbell, and all other conditions of the lease will remain in effect, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, but it was not the taxes paid, it's $100 per month, correct? Or is this an amendment to the motion?
Yeah, the amendment was.
Yeah, that was the amendment. That
The amendment was $100, correct? Or is it to pay the tax? I know the $100 is meant to pay the taxes, but for clarity purposes, Mike's motion was $100 per month with the purpose to cover those taxes. If they go higher than 100, he didn't say, or to cover whatever the taxes would be. So I just want to make sure between Mike's motion and your repeat of the motion that we're on the same page and accurate.
okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I may, Mike's motion was amended, if I've got this correctly, to extend the lease for 6 months with an increase to cover the taxes to June 2021.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, ma'am. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that. It's sometimes hard to track on the phone.
All right. Let's do the vote again. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna step out and visit with them. I don't know that you need me, but this contract is, we've already discussed it twice here. And there's 2 copies if anyone wants them.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll send
perfect.
them right there.
Thank you.
And then as soon as you approve that, I can do the electronic signature on my computer and send it to, I think.
I think it comes to me next, yeah. All right, thank you. All right, that was a great compromise. Give Dr. Campbell an opportunity to decide where he would like to go. Okay, next is the decision for that's website photography quote. So as everyone knows, that our website is getting very close to finally coming out, and part of that is to have some photos taken of our staff to match their contact information. When people access the website, they can have a picture of whoever it is that they are talking with. And I know many times we've always heard it's nice to put a face to a name, and so that's what this accomplishes. We asked for a quote from Kelly Morris Photography. The cost is $350, and that was for between 25 to 30 employees. If there were more, it was going to be for the $5. And all this is just a digital copy that can be sent to our website provider to have that integrated into the website. All right.
Commissioner Colbert,
Yes.
there's also a quote on there for a group.
Oh, there
I
is,
don't
you're
know if
right.
That's of interest to you.
There is a quote for a group photo for $25 if that is something that we decided we wanted to do. There's also, if we decided we wanted prints, he gave us a cost of prints ranging from $4 to $25 each, depending on the size. All right, any discussion?
I have a couple of thoughts if it's time for the commission to discuss, or if you want to wait till after public comment, either way.
Yeah, no, it's just time for the commission to discuss.
So, we have a number of policies and practices through the years that have been developed from different experiences we've had. And I want to discuss some of those and maybe a alternative. First of all, Kelly Morris and we go way back. I appreciate him very much. I have a great deal of respect for him. He is one of the vendors with Fall Fest, and I take care of the vendors for that show and always give him a prime spot, not only because of the quality of his work, which is top-notch, but because he is so good with people. He really does showcase Fall Fest very well for the entire show. Also with BCDC, I've been involved in promoting Kelly's work through our postcards and through some other promotions of our community. So in saying this, I know Kelly's work, I know he's top-notch, but practice of the commission has been that when there's an opportunity offered by the county, we try and give an equitable opening to all those businesses. So a couple of examples is when we've had trainings before, this is across the board, when we've ordered pizza, we go to every single place that does pizza and order the same size pizza from each one so we're equitable. In Wheatland, we've had a number of community meetings down there, and we have actually cycled where we meet to give those businesses an equal opportunity for the public to come in and for us, to be the reason they're coming in. When we've had issues with real estate, we've gone to all area realtors and given them the opportunity for that work or input or what have you. So we have a record of this. I don't see anywhere in our agendas or minutes where this was the result of a public discussion between the commission. So this was a little bit of a surprise. Or else we could have been having this discussion sooner. But a couple of thoughts is, this is the public's money, and even though it's not a whole lot, I think we still need to keep that in mind. Group photos, number one, those are outdated very quickly. I would suggest not a group photo of all county employees, but maybe departmental group photos. I would also say this, a number of citizens that I asked said, you know what, we take great shots with our smartphones. Those can be sent to the website designers digitally and should. Beyond just portraits of our employees, for a website, and I was part of building the community website, so I've been through this process. I don't know how many of you guys have been through. But you also want action shots. You want pictures of the departments and what they do for citizens, as well as headshots that share with people who they are. So I think we've got some opportunities here that maybe we can look at. Number one, this is a leadership opportunity for the commission to bring some of our departments together and bring our departments as a county together. So we've got a communications committee. They could actually be a part of this. This could empower our staff, our departments, to be creative, to work together, to take pride in their departments, to save the taxpayers' money, and to best communicate with the citizens what they know of what they do better than anybody else. So what I'm going to suggest is that we empower the communications committee to put together and anyone else who's interested, but a contest. A contest where they can set some parameters, but each department has certain requirements. One is quality headshots. And again, we have examples of where that cost us nothing, and that is what Nicole did for the commission in January 2019. So you can do that. You can also have some group pictures by department again. But have them set up some fun parameters. 3 is we know because of COVID that our local businesses are suffering, be it other photographers, be it your storefronts. This is an opportunity for the county to help them. So we can give prizes, but we can't exceed the Code of Ethics, which sets a limit. Pounds and bucks are $20 to be used locally and only locally. We could use those as prizes, spend a fraction of the money, but use those as prizes for the different departments or individuals within those departments that meet whatever that contest is. That's an opportunity then to bring some more money into our local businesses and help them through this COVID. So those are my initial thoughts on this. I think if you are going to open it up to a professional photographer, you really do need to open it up throughout the county to be equitable and to stick with what previous commissions have already set as practice. So thanks. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, thank you. Well, I guess I was kind of working with Nicole a little bit on this, and we discussed other photographers, and this was our recommendation, I guess, by other staff members. I don't know, I guess we probably really didn't reach out to anybody else.
I did not.
Officially, but, this is, I guess as I think about this, I know Nicole did some pictures for us and some things of that nature, but our staff's time and productivity is worth something as well. So for, $350, we can get this done. We can kind of try to meet the deadline that we have set for ourselves for our website, getting it online. I guess I'm still in favor of moving forward.
I would probably agree with maybe reaching out to other photographers in the community. I don't know who else there is that's available. I don't think it's a good use of Nicole's time or our crew or our employees' time to have her chase people around for pictures all day. I think that's probably a waste of Nicole's time, and as busy as planning is right now, I don't think that's a good use of time. I agree with not doing the group photo shots. But I think that we could, instead of doing departmental group shots, we could have departments to do their own shots during the year and update our website as to be. But these pictures would be permanent pictures on the website until the employee leaves the system. I think we'd have, if we want to have a contest, we can have a contest between departments to take pictures of what that group actually does and have those change on our website monthly or semi-yearly.
I guess one problem.
You both put words in my mouth that I didn't put there, and I want to make sure that that is corrected for the record. I never suggested that Nicole does everybody. Holy cow, no way. One, that's absolutely inappropriate. And two, she doesn't have the time. I totally agree with that. What I was suggesting, what I am suggesting is for the commission, for example, Laura, Mike, and Daryl all have smartphones. There is no reason that Laura, Mike, or Daryl cannot take pictures, headshots of the three commissioners, say in front of the flag, in front of the front door, in front of our county seal, and have a very nice presentation of who the three commissioners are individually. And then each one of those three could take some pictures of what commissioners do to educate the public. Now take that to another department, say clerk and recorder, treasurer, elections, and superintendent of schools. Everyone in that office has a smartphone. They could take pictures in the same way of each other, headshots. Then when you have staff move, retire, or promoted, they can take the same style picture again, but they can also take pictures of them doing the work in their office again to share with the public what they do. But no, you would not ask a employee to go around and do that. But there's no reason why a department cannot come together as a team, use this as a team building experience to share some time together, take pictures. You're talking about probably 20 minutes. And then to ship it off to the website designers, that's a click of a button. Now, they're not professional portraits, but when a lot of our citizens use smartphones to put together their own Christmas cards and other photography of their children, but don't spend the money to get professional portraits done, it's kind of hard to explain to them that the county is justifying professional portraits with their money.
Okay, so I guess one concern I have is then, so Kelly has already submitted a quote. It's been discussed in public. How fair is it going to be to him now to have someone else come in and possibly submit a quote for a lower amount?
And that's where this really should have gone through a public process, Daryl. First of all, a discussion with the commission in a public meeting, then an advertisement. If you just have one person respond to it, well, that's really easy. But what if there's 2 or 3 more that would have been interested in this? That's why we have these policies and practices that we follow so that we don't fall into these kinds of holes. This hits at the credibility of the commission, and it hits at the credibility of some of our citizens. It's entirely unfair to Kelly. But do you really want to go down a path that we should never have started down because, you made the mistake to begin with? Let's go ahead and just continue with the mistake because we don't want to, I don't know. I just think good, solid practice has to be followed time and time again so that you stay on solid ground.
All right, any more
And
discussion?
if you did put out an ad, you could take into account what you had done to this point. But I still would say, I think it's more responsible for the departments to do it themselves. And I think they can do good quality work. Anybody who has Facebook has taken a picture with a cell phone, a smartphone, and sent it up digitally. Look on Facebook. There's some very good shots there. Yeah, I think I've said enough. I think I've made my points, and it's up to you guys. But this really should have been a public process.
All right, any more discussion?
You know, I think that our procurement policy is a limit of $20,000 to have bids. I think for a price of $350 from Kelly, this is a pretty good deal for us. As far as individual employees taking pictures, I think that you might have a risk of liability of somebody putting something out there that other people don't want put out there. So what's to say that someone doesn't become a disgruntled employee? They don't take an employee picture and stick it on the internet and throw a bunch of trash at it, and it gets limited on where everybody looks at that person. The only thing they see is the trash they saw on Facebook. So I think that's a concern.
We're not talking Facebook. We're talking a website.
I'm talking, hey.
Access to the website, but us. We're not talking Facebook. That was an example to illustrate that people know how to take really good pictures with smartphones.
So what's to stop someone? What's to stop someone to taking that photo and putting it on Facebook? It's in their phone. It's their personal possession.
Well, then, you know what? You have a policy and you have people sign that they're not going to misuse the photos. I don't think that that's something that we really should be too upset about. I don't think our people are that low that they would do that. But if you're worried about it, let's work with Michelle Edmonds and just have her write a short little contract that says, yeah, I'm willing to have my picture taken by my coworker and put on a website. And I'm not going to misuse it for nefarious purposes. This is easy stuff, guys. This is really easy stuff.
It's just as easy just to have Kelly do it for $350 and not waste everybody's time.
No, but you're wasting the citizens' money. And we need to honor the citizens, number one. We can argue the issue, but let's not take it beyond the issue. And that's where I'm at, is if you're absolutely set on this, that's your choice. Vote how you want. But you didn't follow the process. You didn't follow past best practices. And now we're talking about things that really are outside of the realm of possibility or uncorrectable issues. But if this, all I'm saying is follow the process and let's save the citizens money.
Right. I don't have anything else, do you?
I don't have anything else.
All right. Is there a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to hire Kelly Morris to do the individual portraits of each employee for $350.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Motion's made and seconded to hire Kelly Morris to do individual portrait for $350 of all our employees for our county website. Any public discussion? Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay, and my dissenting comment is that I think our money can be better spent, I think the citizens' money can be better spent, and we missed an opportunity for leadership and county team building.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the CDBG grant for updating the county subdivision regulations. We did get approval from Department of Commerce for the Community Development Block Grant, and it is a contract amendment to contract MT-CDBG-PL-17-03B. And they have extended the contract to July 31st of 2021. That allows us to use the remaining $11,000 in the CDBG grant to update our subdivision regulations.
I will make the motion to sign the CDBG grant amendment.
Okay. Is there a second?
I think I'm going to vote present on this one because it's CDBG.
Okay. I will second the motion. Motion is made and seconded to approve the contract amendment from Department of Commerce to allow update of our subdivision regulations. Is there any public discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Present.
Motion carries.
Can I ask a question on this?
You sure can.
Can I now schedule for Great West Engineering
Yes.
to present to the planning board?
Yes, you
Is that
can.
appropriate? Okay. Great.
So the way this will work is Corey will, they're big into digital signing nowadays, so Corey will sign it digitally. It'll come to the commission, and then after I guess maybe I sign it, then it'll go to Doug Ellis, our treasurer, and then it'll be all approved.
So should I wait until signature?
Yeah, why don't you wait till we have all our signatures? This
Okay.
process usually goes pretty quick,
Okay,
probably within the next day or two.
okay. Would you just let me know if you think about it?
I will do
And
that.
I'll circle back around by the end of the week too.
All right,
Okay,
sounds good. Thanks,
thank you.
Nicole. All right, anything else, Mike? Do you have anything?
Well, the only other thing is the census. Right now, Montana, we're at Broadwater County, we're in 10th place in counties at 59.5%. 730 addresses are needed to reach 80% of the addresses. That would if we don't get to 80%, it's going to cost us about $14,600,000 to get if we tried to get to 100%, and we only get to where we're at right now, we'd be about $30 million short of basic funding the way that they figure funding. And you have 22 days to respond. That's all I got.
All right, that's good. It's important. I know it's out there. We just need to get it done. So, with that, I guess we're adjourned.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, well, I didn't know you had another
I
comment.
know. Oh yeah, you
Okay.
asked Mike. I expected you to either pause or say, "Hey, Laura, I know you're on the phone."
Okay,
A week ago, we got a email from Sharon asking for assistance with her insurance claim for the boat that ran into the docks.
yep,
And she wanted a letter to the Geico Insurance stating that the docks belong to the county. We're aware of the situation and we support it. I wrote a letter and sent it out, and I got no response. Did you guys already respond? What's the story at this point with that?
I guess we did send her the commissioner minutes from when the docks were accepted by the county. And that was probably maybe a week before we received that letter. So if you would like us to sign that letter, we can sure do that too.
Did you
Well,
email
number
that?
one,
Did you email
Yeah,
that letter to us or just to Sharon?
no, I included both of you.
I
it.
haven't seen it.
Well, I'll send it off again and I'll forward it from the one that it was sent so you can see
Okay.
when it was sent
Okay.
before. When you guys do respond, if you would include me so that I'm aware of what's going on, I'd appreciate it. And then I don't duplicate work as well. So, yeah, I will re-forward that letter so you guys have it a second time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, anything else? All right, then we're adjourned. 11:25. Thank you, everybody.